now we have a financial audit presentation.
Wait. Mommy.
Oh, no. Dr. Emerson, we're ready for the financial audit presentation.
Thank you. Wow. Apparently not. As states in your packet, and as I've communicated to you via email, we've scheduled the presentation by the district's auditors. I think all municipalities in Michigan, I'm sure school districts are required by state law to be audited by an independent auditing firm every year. The purpose of an auditor is to examine the financial records of, in this case, the school district. And the posture is supposed to be one of the auditing team coming in and reviewing the records that have been presented by, created by, maintained by the school district, and they examine what we give them, and then render an opinion as to whether or not the records that we prepared and the reports that we've given you do in fact fairly represent the financial condition of the school board, of the school system. And I'm pleased to introduce Fisher Lee, who's one of the partners. You all have been doing the audit here for several years. And anyway, he certainly can speak for himself. I was trying to make an introduction of good working relationship, and he's to welcome.
Thank you very much. Everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
And Mr. Emerson did talk about what an audit does. And we are independently reporting on your financial statements for the year ended June 30th of 11. And I'm going to go over the results of the audit that are presented in the audit report book. I believe you have an electronic copy, I think even a hard copy of the report. There's a lot of information in it. I'm going to go over the information that I feel is most important to you as the oversight body of the audit process. And as Mr. Emerson said, the books are internally generated by the district. We independently audit them and present our report on that audit. Pages 1 and 2 of that report is the independent auditor's report, and that reflects a clean opinion on your financial statements. So that is very good. It means that the statements are in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Pages 3 through 11 of the report is a section called Management Discussion and Analysis. And as the name says, it is prepared by management. We do not prepare that section. It is prepared by management to explain in paragraph narrative form why things happened the way they did. So they more or less supplement some of the financial statement schedules that we audit. It's very good reading, especially on the last page, because it has a section there which is the outlook for the future. And this section is required for all governmental units, including school districts, starting in 2003. It's kind of like a report to the stockholders from a president that has a lot of paragraph narrative language about why things happened the way they did. So there's that section. The first statement I would like to refer you to is on page 16, and that's the governmental funds, summary of the revenues and expenditures. And of course, the largest operating fund for Willow Run Community Schools is the general fund, just like it is in all K through 12 districts in Michigan. There, and this is a very condensed statement here. There's other detailed statements following, but this indicates that for the year, as I look, third caption from the bottom, in the leftmost column, for the general fund, there was an excess of revenues over expenditures for the year of $1,098,000. And that is very good, but we want to be cautioned because a lot of that was the reflection of cash that had been received in previous years that was deferred, that is now being realized as revenue. And the management discussion and analysis prepared by management points that out, that these are non-recurring revenues really that are hitting the year ended June 30th, 11. The good news is that they hit in 2011. The bad news is they are not going to reoccur. But on the other hand, you did have the increase in fund balance for June 30th of 11 of that amount of money. There was a slight increase in the prior year, the year ended June 30th of 10, of $208,000. So this, the last 2 years have been relatively good financial-wise for the district. Because that is good, because the previous 6 years is when we had the deficits, the expenditures greater than revenues, which led to the deficit. Going into the start of the fiscal year of 11, there was an accumulated deficit in the fund of $2.8 million. Well, that $1,098,000 increase in fund balance for the year, that reduced the deficit to $1.7 million. As a matter of fact, it's $1,702,000, which really represents the net cumulative expenses greater than revenues over time. At this point in time, that's where we are at June 30th, 11. So there are some good things to be pointed out in this audit. And one of them is the results from the financial audit. But as I understand, the finance director is going to prepare an analysis of where you're at going forward, which is really important for not just your school district, but other school districts as well, because of the uncertain economic condition we have in the state of Michigan. Certainly the foundation allowance accounts for 80–85% of your total revenues for that general fund. That in the school level of enrollment is very key also, because that drives the amount that you get for the foundation allowance as well. So those two factors, one, you really don't have too much control over that. That's the foundation allowance amount. But the other one that you do have control of is the number of students. You're doing a lot of things to try to get more activity, more enrollment here within the district. And that is good. But Mr. Emerson will do a little bit more in his analysis. But that's the general fund. We do certainly have other funds, and maybe I can take you back into those other funds, summary of the revenue and expenses for those. And the Michigan Department of Education requires